হ্যালো মাই ডিয়ার স্টুডেন্টস, আজকে আমরা ক্লাস 12 এর সিলেবাস থেকে ইভলিউশন স্টার্ট করব। আজকে ইভলিউশনের ফার্স্ট পার্ট ভিডিও। আশা করি এটা মন দিয়ে শুনলে তোমাদের ইভলিউশন কভার হয়ে যাবে অনেকটাই। আমরা লাইন বাই লাইন এনসিইআরটি আমাদের পড়তে হবে। বায়োলজিতে 360 কভার করার জন্য আমরা জানি বায়োলজিতে নিটের টোটাল স্কোর হচ্ছে 720, তার মধ্যে বায়োলজি হোল্ড করে আছে 360 মার্কস। তাই আমরা বলতে পারি বায়ো বিল্ডস নিট, থিঙ্ক বায়ো, ক্র্যাক নিট, বায়ো লিডস টু নিট, মাস্টার ইন বায়োলজি, এক্সেল ইন নিট, অ্যান্ড আলটিমেটলি নিট সাকসেস গ্যারান্টেড। চলো আমরা ইভলিউশন পড়া শুরু করি। আজকে আমাদের ফার্স্ট ওয়ার্ড ভিডিও। তাহলে দেখো, ইভলিউশন হলো অ্যাক্ট অফ আনফোল্ডিং আর আনরোলিং। তাহলে এটা আমাদের পড়তে হবে অ্যাকচুয়ালি হিস্ট্রি অফ লাইফ সায়েন্স। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য অরিজিন অফ ইউনিভার্স, কীভাবে হয়েছিল। উই হ্যাভ টু গো ক্রিপিং ইনটু পাস্ট। স্টেলার ডিস্টেন্স আমরা জানি, এটা হয়েছিল 20 বিলিয়ন ইয়ার্স এগো। Big Bang theory আমরা জানি, it was an explosion, and it occurred, expansion occurred, then our earth became cool. Hydrogen and helium will produced at that time, and due to reason of gravity they condense, and galaxies, Akash Ganga or Milky Way galaxies was formed, in which our solar system is located. Early Earth has no atmosphere, but it has volcanoes, molten mass containing carbon dioxide, ammonia, water vapor, and methane. Due to high temperature, Earth was evolved nearly about 4.5 billion years ago, and origin of life occurred nearly 4 billion years ago. The hydrogen was lighter, so it escaped, and oxygen formed oxides. Environment when cool, H2O vapor condensed, and H2O liquid H2O was formed. So due to high temperature and reducing atmosphere, the first life was started its venture from the water, and the water of the ocean has high temperature at that time. The theories of origin of life: theory of special creation. Father source God, within 6 days he made all the living organisms. At that time Earth was 4000 years old. Life was created as such. No new species was added, and no new species was extinct at that time. Second point, theory of catastrophism. It was proposed by Cuvier. Time to time catastrophe killed, and gods produced new generation. Cosmozoic theory of life. It was proposed by Richard Helmholtz. It was accepted by many astronomers. Sperm or seed or spore, it initiated the new life. Theory of spontaneous generation or abiogenesis theory. According to this theory, life came from dead and decaying matter. Discarded by further scientists as Plangini, life came from pre-existing life, and Louis Pasteur later experimented and proved that Schwanneck and Flask experiment. He took the kill list, and he showed that life does not come from the pre-existing life. First life theory of chemical evolution. Oparin and Haldane proposed. Oparin was a Russian biologist, and Haldane British biologist. Life in inanimate matter plus inorganic chemicals. Due to high temperature in Earth, WHAM মানে water vapor, hydrogen, ammonia, and methane, due to lightening, it produced organic chemical molecules, and at that time the atmosphere was reducing. So carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen form the H2O, H2, water vapor, ammonia, then methane, then it formed simple organic molecule, then it formed complex organic molecule like sugar, which formed at last polysaccharide, amino acid which formed at last protein, nucleotide which formed at last nucleic acid, nitrogen bases which also participated in the formation of nucleic acid. Next, meteorite when came into Earth, some organic molecule was formed. At the time protobiont was formed, which can be called as coacervate, according to the concept of Oparin, and it was also called as microsphere by proposed by Sidney Fox. RNA was the first macromolecule, and because RNA was unstable, so DNA it took the position of the genetic material of living organisms. From the protobiont, eubient was formed, chemoheterotrophic, then chemoautotrophic, then photoautotrophic, and ultimately it produced oxygen. So formation of outer gas and eukaryotic cell was formed step by step. Evidence of evolution. Firstly, we should mention the paleontological evidence, means the study of fossil, intact fossil or petrified fossil, organic to inorganic transformation, compression fossil, coprolite, that is fecal matter when it get fossilized, or planofossil, pylonofossil, pollen grain when it converted into fossil. So in Permian, so the remaining body parts or hard parts of an organism undergo sedimentary rocks. So we can predict the age of fossil by means of radioactive relative dating or absolute dating, or by radioactive dating using urea to lead conversion. Urea radioactivity is much greater than recent, but uh, morphological and anatomical evidence. Morphological anatomical evidence, from this evidence we can get the concept of homologous organ or analogous organ. Homologous organ, it is initiated the divergent evolution, and the analogous organ, it initiated the convergent evolution. So according to the homologous organ, there was a common ancestor, but according to the analogous organ, there is no common ancestor. Example is plants and animals. Bougainvillea, cucurbita, it formed the thorns, it forms the tendrils. It was Bougainvillea thorns was responsible for protection, and cucurbita tendril was responsible for climbing. It was originated from the axillary bud. In case of animals, forelimbs of vertebrates, they appeared gradually. In case of analogous organs, plants have potato or sweet potato. Potato is the modified stem, and sweet potato is the modified root, and both are developed for the purpose of storage. In case of animals, wings of butterfly and birds, eyes of octopus and mammals, flippers of dolphin and penguin, all of the examples of analogous organs. Vestigial organ currently has no function but still present, like wisdom teeth or third molar, vermiform appendix in human, body hair, nictitating membrane, ear muscles, male nipples, coccyx or tailbone. Atavism, it is the appearance of an old characters. Embryological evidence, it was disproved by Carl von Baer. Later Ernest Haeckel proposed ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Ontogeny means embryology or embryonic development. Phylogeny means phylogenetic development or evolutionary development. So from the gill slits, embryo, fish, reptiles, birds and mammals, it was initiated the aquatic ancestry. So according to protein-protein interaction, amino acid sequence, DNA sequence, we can compare the sequence and we trace the ancestry. Now we'll go for molecular biology. We can use the DNA or RNA to track the evolutionary pathway. Biological evidence. Australia, the marsupials, kangaroos were initiated at the time. Adaptive radiation, from the common ancestor, different groups of organisms were evolved, and it initiated the speciation. There is a story of HMS Beagle, the ship used by Charles Darwin. Galapagos Island, Darwin moved, and he found finches which have different types of beak patterns. We know in case of Maharashtra, the Marathi, the Punjabi, or the Delhi, or Hindi, Punjabi, West Bengal, it was initiated. It's an example of adaptive radiation. Australian marsupial and placental mammals, similar type of phenotype, and it is the example of convergent evolution. Theories of evolution. Lamarck proposed the book Philosophic Zoologic. At that book, he used the concept or proposed the concept of use and disuse. Organ use, it becomes strengthened. When it has no use, it is atrophied. Theory of inheritance of acquired characters, it cannot change germplasm. Somatoplasm change, do not go to next gene. August Weismann, he proposed the theory of germplasm. He make the mice tailless, but in next generation he formed the tailed mice, and up to 21st generation all the mouse was born with a tail. So this was the concept of theory of germplasm. Now Darwinian theory, we go for natural selection concept. Uh, Darwin, Sheep HMS Beagle, and and another biologist Alfred Wallace, who studied on Malay archipelago. The same conclusion they found. Essay of Thomas Malthus, population on population genetics. Population means geometric growth, and resource provide the arithmetic growth, so population is stable. In case of artificial selection, the crop broccoli. Natural selection, high rate of reproduction, but resources limited, struggle, interspecific travel and extra-specific travel with abiotic factor between same species or between different species. Reproductive fitness, it have to variation, small or continuous changes, survival advantage, survival of fittest, and natural selection. It was proposed by Herbert Spencer. Two key concepts: natural selection and branching descent. Natural selection is the mechanism of evolution, and branching descent is the pattern of evolution, but it has limitations, source of variation and mode of transmission. Mutation theory was proposed in 1901 by Hugo de Vries. He studied on evening primrose, which is Inothera lamarckiana. Evolution depends on mutation. Natural breeding population, evolution is suddenly change. It is large, it is non-directional, but it is heritable. Darwinian and Hugo de Vries, if we compare between them, evolution has variation. Hugo de Vries stated about the mutation. Darwin found that it is small, it is gradual, and it is directional. Hugo de Vries stated that it is large, it is random, sudden, and directionless. Single large step mutation is called as saltation. This is the theory of saltation concept. Evidence of natural selection, industrialism, which occurred in England for the moth Biston betullaria. Before industrialism, lichen or light colored moth, it became dark colored moth. When there was no population, there is no CO2 or SO2. After industrialization, there is no lichen. Dark colored moth was was maximum in number in comparison to light colored moth, so no variant was completely wiped out. Antibiotic resistance or drug resistance, another phenomena of evolution, another example of natural selection, the herbicide resistance. Now we go for Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. The conditions for this theory was the population should be large, there should be no mutation, no random mating, no gene migration, no genetic drift, no natural selection, and no recombination. So the population, it undergo equilibrium, the allelic frequency will undergo constant, gene pool will be constant, so sum total of allelic frequency will be 1. If there are two alleles, capital A, frequency is small p, and small a frequency is small q, then capital A, that means p square, capital A small a means 2pq, and small a is q square, so p square plus q square plus 2pq is equal to 1, so p plus q the whole square will be 1, so p plus q will be 1. Genetic drift or Sewell Wright effect, accidental change in allelic frequency, no survival advantage, so small population for the founders effect. It can be of bottleneck effect, hunting population and then undergo the extinction. African cheetah population, it is irreversible process. Brief account of evolution. Universe was started 20 billion years ago. Earth started 4.5 billion years ago. Life 3.5 to 4 billion years ago. New cellular form was the RNA. It appeared before 3 billion years ago. Cellular form appeared 2000 million years ago. Photosynthesis was started and it produced oxygen at the time. Unicellular organism, from unicellular organism multicellular organism was evolved. Invertebrate evolution occurred before 5 million years ago. Jawless fish, it appeared before 350 million years ago. It was the anatha. It left ocean and came into land. In South Africa, coelacanth ancestor amphibians. 320 million years ago the plants appeared. Reptile was the first true land vertebrate. before 200 million years ago they dominated. From the egg, egg become thick and prevent desiccation. H2O reptiles move in both aquatic environment and terrestrial environment, such as ichthyosaurus. Evolution is comprises of the following points: origin of life, evolution of life forms, that's the theory, what are the evidence of for evolution, what is adaptive radiation, what are the biological evolution, mechanism of evolution, Hardy-Weinberg principle, a brief account of evolution, and origin and evolution of human. So evolutionary biology, the historical study of life forms on Earth, it makes the changes in flora and fauna over millions of years. We must understanding context of origin of life, evolution of Earth, stars and universe. Origin of life is can be discussed from the stars, object or emitted light million years ago, trillions kilometer away. Stellar distances is measured in light years. Universe is vast. It is 20 billion years ago. Huge clusters of galaxies. It formed the stars, gas cloud, and dust. Earth only a speck, that is 4.5 billion years back. Big Bang theory, origin of universe. Singular huge explosion, unimaginable in physical terms. So universe expanded, temperature came down, hydrogen and helium later, gases condensed under gravitation, formed galaxies and the universe. Solar system of Milky Way galaxy, there was no atmosphere on early Earth, so there was a molten mass. It released water vapor, methane, carbon dioxide and ammonia. Water formed the hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen escaped, and oxygen with ammonia and methane to form the water and carbon dioxide, etc. in presence of sunlight. So ozone layer was formed, and the ozone hole, the ozone layer, through the ozone layer or atmosphere, it came into the Earth. Cooled water vapor, it formed rain and it fills and forms the ocean. Life 500 million years after Earth formation. Theories of origin of life, that is the concept of panspermia, still favorite idea for some astronomers. Some scientists believe life forms outside the Earth. Early Greek thinkers, they proposed that the units of life or spores that transferred to different planet or Earth. Concept of abiogenesis, long time believed life came from decaying or rotting matter like straw, mud, etc. So theory of spontaneous generation, it was dismissed by Louis Pasteur. So the Louis Pasteur proposed the concept of biogenesis, that is the silk flask, it contained key list and flask open to air, growth of microbes, but it didn't answer how first life from life form came on Earth. Theory of chemical evolution, Russian Oparin and Halden from England, they stated about chemical evolution and it was more or less accepted. First form of life form from pre-existing non-living organic molecules like RNA, protein, etc., which founded the chemical evolution. Earth's conditions were high temperature, volcanic storms, reducing atmosphere containing methane, ammonia, etc. In 1953, Miller, an American scientist, created similar conditions in laboratory scale. High temperature, Urey and Miller started the experiments. They mixed methane, ammonia, H2 and hydrogen. From the spark discharge, gases were produced. Water out, there is a condenser. Water in, there are water droplets. Boiling water, or water containing organic compounds. Liquid water in trap. So lightning, high voltage, 75,000 volts. He created electric discharge in closed flask with methane, hydrogen, ammonia. Water vapor was formed at 800 degrees Celsius. He observed amino acid formation. Alanine, aspartic acid, glycine, these amino acids were formed at the time. In similar experiments, others observed the formation of sugar, nitrogen bases, pigments, fats, etc. So hypothesis, first non-cellular, 3 billion years back, giant molecules like RNA, protein, polysaccharides was formed, and the first cellular form appeared before 2000 million years ago. So the first form of life arose slowly through evolutionary forces from non-living molecules accepted by majority. So evolution of life forms are theory of special creation, conventional religious literature, There were three connotations: all living organisms like species or types we see today created as such, diversity same since creation and same in future also. Earth is about 4,000 years old. Charles Darwin, he started his voyage through HMS Beagle. He found existing life forms similarities to varying degree. Any population, it has variation in characters due to climate, due to food, physical factors, etc. So the organisms survive there, and reproductive fitness, it fit the progeny than other. Alfred Wallace, a naturalist who worked on Malay archipelago, shared similarities and share common ancestors, and he stated that Earth was formed before billion years ago. So thank you, all the best my dear students. এর পরের দিন আমরা আরেকটা পার্টে আমরা ইভলিউশনটা কমপ্লিট করব। বাই।